I have a friend. This friend lived in Lagos, though they have migrated. Now, what he did, actually the wife started the business and then he joined her. They were simply packaging Gari. They were not the ones producing the Gari. So for those of you non-Nigerians joining us, Gari is a staple food that is made from the crop, Cassava. It's a beloved food. It's food people eat, hundreds of millions of people eat every single day. So they didn't have the farm. They weren't the ones who planted the cassava, but they packaged this Gari, branded it so well. The point I'm getting to, I was amazed, the day the man disclosed how much they made on a weekly basis. He used to work in a bank. He never saw that kind of income all his years in the bank. So of course he quit and joined the wife in selling packaged Gari. There is nothing. Out of that, they built house. Out of that, they sent their children to the best school in the country. Best school in the country. Sent all of them from everyday money they made from packaging Gari and selling. This is why tonight we are going to be looking at the topic, top 10 high profit agro business ideas for urban dwellers. All right. Top 10 high profit agro business ideas for urban dwellers. Many of you need a side hustle. You work in the city, but it's so expensive living in the city. Rents are very, very high. Transportation is high, and the currency is not doing very well. It keeps getting devalued. Inflation keeps going up. And so you find that increasingly, the amount of money you make is not enough to cover the living expenses of your family. So it's about time you started looking for a side hustle that may even eventually become the big deal and take over the funding of your family, and then saving and investing and creating emergency fund from your side hustle. So this is why I'm sharing this, because I know that many of you are joining from cities around the world. And you keep wondering, we are talking about agro business opportunities, but I live in the city. So how can I participate in this multi-billion dollar industry? Okay, so I want to highlight the misconception that agro business requires owning a farm. Agribusiness does not necessarily require owning a farm. And then I can understand why many of you are a bit hesitant, because when you hear the stories that the farmers tell about how difficult it is, how agribusiness is really challenging, you really need to be a person of passion to succeed in agribusiness. I did it last year. I'm also doing it this year. And I can tell you, farming is not for the faint-hearted. Some of you think that it is very risky trading the financial markets, trading stocks or forex or bitcoins and all that. You haven't seen any risk. Come to farming. So there's actually risk in every single opportunity that can generate profit for you. There's always a very, very serious risk. But then I'm saying that you don't have to be the farmer. You don't have to be the one, planting the farm, the crops yourself. So there are massive opportunities in the agricultural value chain, even for city residents. Why? Because the city residents eat. You eat. Even in the business districts in Accra, in Johannesburg, in Lusaka, in Kampala, in Nairobi, in Lagos, in Abuja, you eat, even in the central business district. So there are massive opportunities in the agri-business value chain. I know people who sold food in carts, and then there are some single moms who make lunch packs and send to highbrow primary schools and secondary schools, and then they make a lot of money. In fact, one of the biggest business women in Nigeria did that. They ran out of money, she and her household. And so with the last 1,000 naira, which is like $10 that she had, she got into the market. Okay, so if you've ever heard about I think the name of her company is Leftovers or something like that. No Leftovers or something like that. You can Google her online. Amazing story. These people came to destitution, to like what's an equivalent of being homeless, almost homeless in America. But this enterprising, passionate woman went to the market, bought with the last money that they had, bought a few ingredients to make moi moi. All right, moi moi is something made from beans, for those of you know from this part of the world. And then she made it. And I don't remember the particular figure, but when she now went to a particular school, I believe it was Corona Schools in Victoria Island, she sold, she invested something like 1,000 naira. And by the time she finished that day, she sold something like 3 times what she made. This woman went from there to become like a really big name. Really big name. A couple of years ago, I think it was Goldman Sachs that arranged for her to speak to women all over the world by satellite. I think they flew her to New York or something. And it started by just a very, very sharp idea that started small within the agro-business value chain, within the agro value chain. So I'm saying that there are massive opportunities even for you who live in the cities. It's not just things that you do with pen and paper. It's not just things that you have to, you know, you're a professional services provider, accountant, a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer. Who told you that a lawyer can't make millions, you know, in the agro value chain? So there are massive opportunities there. Then again, I want to emphasize again, you do not need farmland. You just need strategy. You do not need farmland. You need strategy. So, and I'm going to show you this night high impact ideas that anybody who lives in the urban areas, even for some of you who live in Europe and in North America, can do or partner with someone to do. All right. So are we ready? Say, I'm ready. I'm ready. So as you join us, tell me what country you are joining us from, okay? Tell me what you do, especially if you're already in the agriculture value chain. All right, so if you're already in the agriculture value chain, let me know in the comment section, and then tell me what country that you are joining from and your expectations tonight. Are you excited? Are you excited? Let me know about this. I really am. And then, of course, you know, I tell you the things I have done. So I don't talk theory, because agribusiness or agribusiness is very, very difficult to talk theory. And so it's very difficult to talk theory. So I have done it, and I'm doing it, and I'm doubling down on it this year. And that's why I'm talking about it here. Som Tochukwu says, I am ready. Yes, Paris, you are welcome. Always great having you. Som Tochukwu is joining from Abuja. Adebanjo, Adebiyi, Rama is joining us from Kenya. Takba is ready. Lawson, I'm ready. Okay, because one of the things that you need to discover, I think what's the problem I've found with city dwellers, is that we are too self-conscious. We are too self-conscious. You know, many of us who live in the cities care so much about what people think about them, what the villagers will think about them. Who cares what you think about me? If I'm going to make money to support my family and to help other people through selling something by the street, who told you? Who told you? I know about, I've read seen a documentary somewhere, but it's hazy in my mind, about a guy who what he was doing was frying akara beans or something, you know, puff puff. You know, this thing we call puff puff in Nigeria. I don't know the real name, but it's they mix flour, you know, with sugar to form a dough or something, and then they fry it in oil by the side of the road. This guy became a multi-millionaire just doing that, and I was a graduate. I also know a mother who used she made pap. All right, pap, you make pap from grains, you know, like maize, sorghum, millet, and all that. So you make pap. There's a way people make the pap. So, and pap is one of the favorite breakfasts, you know, in this part of the world. It's a favorite breakfast, which unfortunately you don't see in many hotels. You know, they prefer to serve you some of these funny things processed and then imported. But pap is very healthy. It's also probiotic because people soak the beans for a couple of days before blending it, mixing it with ginger and a couple of things. Amazing. I know a woman who lost her husband, and that was in my village. She lost her husband very early, and they had 5 children. This industrious woman trained all those children through primary, secondary schools, tertiary institutions from making pap. So the problem with city jewelers is that they care so much about packaging, about how people look at them. I can make pap if I see opportunity there. If I'm living in Accra, if I'm living in Habron, if I'm living where? In Kampala, and I see opportunity, because I'm telling you, the agro value chain is massive. People must eat every day. I will remove my coat and ties and do it. Of course, many of you saw me selling palm oil. I sell palm oil. Who cares? And so, oh, you were an ex-employee of Shell. You worked with Stanford University, and you are carrying palm oil to sell. Get away from me. Get away from me. So if people who have, self-esteem issues, that bother about it, I think it's a problem with people who dwell in the city. You finish wearing your suit and ties and making those incredible presentations, and then you don't see yourself going to your backyard and planting yam in sacks, Oh, people should not see you that you're doing that. Hunger will finish you, and poverty will deal with you if you're that kind of person. Okay, so I really want to emphasize that. People, you guys in the city, you are suffering. I have been in the city, all my life, and I know what it looks like. People back in the villages will think you are doing well, but you are sweating. You are suffering. You are barely surviving. You are barely making ends meet. You earn big money, in the place you work, in the bank, in the offices, in the corporate environment where you work. You earn a lot of money. But at the end of the month, you have nothing left. Meanwhile, the people in the village, they think that you're big, but you're suffering. And then your rent, last year, rent in Lagos went crazy. I don't even know how people are going to be able to sustain that kind of rent. People are beginning to suspect that there's going to be a lot of rent default in Lagos, Abuja, all those places this year. Because people jacked up rent. Like where we were living, rent went from 1.5 million naira to 8 million. Very, very unreasonable. So how are you going to survive? Your salary didn't go that up. How are you going to survive, ladies and gentlemen, living in the city, if you don't look for a side hustle like the things I'm going to teach you tonight to do? But then instead of now getting your ego down a little bit, learning these things and doing it, you say, how can I be packaging Gari to sell? What will neighbors see? They see me. What will the people who work with me in the office see me? I'm supervisor, I'm manager. Hunger will finish you if you're thinking like that. Wealth doesn't like people who think like that. Wealth requires a lot of humility. Coming down to see, and many of you, what is keeping you struggling financially is exactly what I'm describing. You are too dignified. You are too civilized to come down and raise chicken in your large compound where you're living, to raise chicken. Oh, the chicken poop will be smelling, and neighbors will be asking, oh, what are you doing here? Who cares? Who cares? Okay, so now you're ready. Let me tell you 10 top high profit agro business ideas for urban dwellers, which you can start without a farm. You don't have to own a farm to do these businesses. Number one, I've already talked about it. Number one, food packaging business. This one is so accessible to anyone in the city. It's just something you can do. The entry barrier is low. Everybody type food packaging business. Let's start to unpack it. Food packaging business. Type it in the comment section. Food packaging business. And I like, this is very, very lucrative, because number one, you don't have to be the one that owns the farm. You don't even need a farm. And then access to the raw materials is all over you. There's no city, there's no urban city that does not have like farmers market kind of market, where if you're buying something, if you live in Ikoyi for instance, and then you're buying a bunch of plantain, let's say for 5,000 naira, if you go to mile 12 where the farmers come, or Ikorodu, if you drive down to mile 12, you can get Instead of that 5,000, you can get it for 3,000. You can get it for 2,500. But you see, the further away you move from those places, the more expensive. So food packaging business is amazing. It's amazing. Okay. So let me give you a few examples. I've told you about my friend who packaged Gari and used Gari. At that time, the figure he told me he was making a year, making every week, was what some people make in 1 year. Salary people make in 1 year. He was making it every single week. And then that Gari packaged was in, you find them in supermarkets. Now the guys they've immigrated in the country, but they have set up a system. I was in a supermarket in Lagos the other day, and I still saw that they are still doing the business. So in all likelihood, they are supporting their lives over there, abroad, from the business they are running in Nigeria, because it is a $1 billion business, food packaging business, okay? So you can package Gari, you can package rice, you can package beans into smaller retail packs for urban dwellers. For instance, in Lagos, for me, for instance, one of the healthiest rice to eat, like the number one for me, healthiest rice to eat, is the Abakaliki rice in Ebonyi State. And it has ties, maybe number one, it shares that level also with the Ofada rice. I love Ofada rice. It is very, very healthy. It's our local species, and then some of the Abakaliki, the local rice, they have not tampered with a GMO or something in that Ofada rice. So it's really very good. And so many people who are very health conscious, Ofada is not very far from Lagos. You can actually go. You don't even need to drive down to Ofada. I believe Ofada is in Ogun State, in a nearby state. You don't even have to drive very far, and buy these things in quantity, in large bags. Then come to your house in Victoria Island, or in Lekki, or in the mainland. Bag it, brand your package very, very well. Bag it into smaller units, 1 kg units and things like that. Even the people in your neighborhood. Some estates, if they know that you have things like that, your market in the estate alone, you can't even feel it. Okay? Are you loving this? Is somebody loving this? So food packaging business, all right, you can do that for Gari, you can do that for beans, you can do that for other grains. You package them, you buy in quantity. You can ask somebody in Kano, somebody in Jos, to send grains to you. Dried pepper, a lot of it in Jos, very, very cheap. You can buy the dried peppers, buy the dried ginger, buy the dried carrots. I didn't even know that they used to dry carrots. So I bought dried carrots. Can you imagine if you order it in very huge quantities from the north, and then you package it in retail and sell there? You're going to make money, so much money you're going to quit your job within 3 months. It's a prophecy for someone. Okay. So there is growing demand for convenience and branding in markets like in Ghana, in Nigeria, South Africa, different places. So food packaging business, that's number one. Okay. Number two. Okay. Number two. But before I go to number two, anybody here already feeling like this is something you can do? Type in the comment section. What idea came to your mind? Like food you can package in your town, in your city. Anybody feeling like you got some idea of food to package? It's not just in Lagos, even in Enugu, Kumasi, Benin, Abuja, different places. Lusaka. I have to actually be in Lusaka this year. I don't know why I keep thinking about Zambia. I think I really have to be in Zambia this year. Okay, it could be in Zanzibar, it could be in Dar es Salaam, it could be in Abidjan. You can do this business in any city in the world. Okay, anybody thought about an idea, something you can package in your city? So I want you to tell me the city you live in. Tell me like one really hotly demanded food item that you can brand and package. Okay, any ideas? So type it in the comment section, and then after that I'm going to give you the second high profit agro business idea. While you're doing that, the financial fitness challenge is currently enrolling. So if you have not taken advantage of the early bird right now, the early bird is 100,000 Nigerian naira. The fee is $120,000. Early bird, I think we still have a week and a couple of days for that. So DM me or just say you're interested, and then after this I'm going to send you the payment details so that you can take advantage of that tonight. It's during the Financial Fitness Challenge that we actually dive down to this. And let's say you want to package food. How do you do it? How do you create a business model? Where do you start? Where do you source these materials? How do you sell it? How do you advertise it on social media? Those are the specific things that we do during the Financial Fitness Challenge. It's implementation based, it's not information based. So I really want to encourage you to take advantage of the Financial Fitness Challenge. All right, so let me see some of the things some of the ideas coming to you, and then I will read a couple of them out. Okay. Fawaz Ahmed said you need a holiday in Miami, Accra, Ghana. I got a nice jollof for you. Fawaz, don't start this jollof rice war here. But of course, you know, Ghana is my second home. I actually have an office in Ghana. I consult in Ghana. So Ghana is like a second home for me. I've literally lived in Ghana for a couple of years. Okay, Helen says, Helen says food packaging business. Okay, he didn't say any particular one. Godwin says local rice from Enugu. Fantastic, that's good. Yeah, sugarcane in sachet. That's amazing. Some teachable. Never thought about that. That sounds like a very unique idea. Are you going to need to preserve it in such a, you know, how are you going to do that? That's amazing. That's a great idea. And that is in Abuja. Okay. Godwin will start as soon as he finishes the Financial Fitness Challenge. Yes, Somtochukwu, absolutely. Yes, Somtochukwu is part of the Financial Fitness Challenge already. You will be onboarded very soon. Just give us this weekend, please. We're putting together the bonuses so that once you come in, you will hit the ground running. Okay, very good. Number 2, cassava processing. Cassava processing into starch or fufu. Okay, the amount of fufu consumed every day in Ghana, it's incredible. And I was in a restaurant in Accra Mall, you know, in the food court, in the food area. I forget what they call that restaurant, but I ate some soup with fufu in that restaurant. I have not forgotten, and I want to try to recreate that. So for those of you in Ghana, they called that soup green. It's kind of, you know, it's green. So I was asking them the things that they use for the soup is like dark green. It's green inside. So in it you had dried fish, you had snail, you had crab, you had goat meat, you had about 6 or 7 kinds of protein in it. That soup was amazing. I don't typically eat too much, but that day I ate too much. And anytime I'm in Accra Mall, I go to that restaurant and I ask them for green soup. The last time I went there and they didn't have it, I was terribly disappointed. So there's a whole lot of this fufu. There's another one in East Legon. I forget the name, but it's like Bush restaurant. It's in East Legon. So if you go to Accra, if you go to Ghana, you need to find that restaurant. It's just amazing. You know, there's fufu served with all kinds of local soups there. And the place is large. If you don't go there before 2 or 3 p.m., you run out of food. Because, you know, our people eat a lot of fufu in Ghana, in Nigeria, and even in the diaspora. How is the fufu made? It's made from cassava. Did you know you can make it yourself? Okay, you can make it. So you transform the raw cassava into flour or starch, and you're targeting local markets or you're targeting exports. So, and you just need a small scale system. It's something you can do at the back of your house. Like the one I'm doing, my cassava, my fufu I'm producing right now is just in a small space in my country home here. And then you start small until you can scale it into something big. So there's a whole lot of fufu, cassava, fufu eating every single day. Every single day. So that's a massive opportunity for urban dwellers. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, now you can go into the distribution. We can go into the distribution and retail opportunities. So the first section, I divided it into sections, these opportunities into sections. So we just talked about agro processing ventures. All right, so processing. So under that section, you have food packaging, and then you have cassava processing. Then under distribution and retail opportunities, you have organic food delivery service. Okay, somebody type it in the comment section. Organic food delivery service. And why this one has become very, very amazing, it will amaze you how many people in the cities are becoming more and more health conscious. It will amaze you if you get into those houses in Victoria Island, in Ikoyi and Lekki. It will amaze you how many people are so health conscious that they pay literally millions a month for organic food. They order it. So I think my wife told me about one massive WhatsApp group where all they do and they talk about is organic farming. And so they farm things, using natural manure, using water, no pesticides, nothing. And people pay premium for that. So there are people in the outskirts of Lagos, for instance, who produce organic vegetables. But they are not able to reach the market in Lekki, in Victoria Island, in those highbrow areas. People really want organic. Now, you can be the distributor. You can find the market, create the market access, and then curate and deliver organic vegetables. And then if you've gone to some parts of Victoria Island, I think this is also in Ghana, and then in many cities, you find that the vegetables being sold mostly by Indians and Lebanese. Mostly, that's a trade that they have mastered in many cities. If it's the same thing in your town, in your country, let me know. They have all these spices, they have all these foods and all that, and those are usually very, very premium as they were. So you can do something like that. You're just organic delivery. You do not need a store. You do not need an office. All you need is this your social media handle that you scroll around looking for entertainment. You can turn it into a business. You advertise on your Instagram handle, on your Facebook handle, or even on LinkedIn, where you find such people who value things like that, and say, I have this, I have that. You put your pictures over there of the organic vegetables, lettuces, cabbages, local leaves, ogo, and things like that. You advertise it. You put your price, you brand it, then send it out there. And then you will start getting more orders than you can fulfill. Okay, so that's a very, very massive opportunity for people living in the city. Okay, then number 4, under the distribution and retail opportunities, number 4 is agro product exportation. People who are involved in exporting of agricultural products, they talk about how they make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year. And I believe them, because we have not even finished meeting the needs locally for some of these products. How much more over there? Take palm oil, for instance. Nigeria cannot even meet its own oil palm need. We cannot even meet it. Even though we have massive companies like Okomu Oil, like Presco, like all these other, farming hundreds of thousands of hectares of oil palm. We can't meet our own local demand. Why? Because it's not just for food purposes. The people in pharmaceutical industries, the people in beauty, the people in all these other industries are also using it. So they're competing for the demand. So exporting is amazing opportunity for people who live in the city. And I do know a gentleman who lives in the States. I don't know if he stays or in Europe. I met him in Benin. There was a time I went around looking for species of oil palm when I started building my oil palm plantation. And so I met this guy right there in the thick of the village. with a truck, and he was going around collecting rubber. I saw some rubber in the vehicle. Rubber, like the people tapped the latex and then they rolled it and they had it in the back of the vehicle. So I was asking him. The guy said this is all he does for a living. He lives abroad, but he comes occasionally here to aggregate, to go around, buy these things like rubber from the farmers, and he ships them. He exports them from Lagos. The guy doesn't do anything else, even abroad, and he's making more money than the people who live where he stays. And I asked him how long he's done this. He said he's done it for over 12 years. And it's so lucrative that that's what he does. So he comes, flies down, he goes around, picks up rubber, the latex, the raw material from the farmers, takes it over to Lagos, exports it, and collects thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, he pays peanuts for them, for the farmers. Because the sad thing about farming is that the lower you are in the value chain, the less money you make in farming. Okay? All right. Is this helping somebody? Is this helping you? Is this giving you some ideas? So you can see that opportunities are all over. We just need to cure ourselves from opportunity blindness. And then we discover that it doesn't matter how bad the economy is, how bad we think the economy is. It doesn't matter how bad we think it is. There are always opportunities, because if you're waiting until the economy improves, good God, you're going to die waiting for the economy to improve. There's never been any better time to do anything than the now that you have. All right. And if you haven't shared this session, take a moment and do that right now. Okay. Everybody take 5 seconds and hit the share button. All right. And then in the caption, you can say top 10 high profit agro business ideas for urban dwellers, for city dwellers. Okay. Top 10 agro business ideas for city dwellers. Everyone, take a moment and share it right now. We really appreciate that. Take a moment and share it right now. Yes, Ogama Obed, I can understand that. And in fact, even for you staying in Gabon, even for you who you are joining us from Gabon, there are incredible, the same opportunities exist even there in Gabon. And then the other day, I saw someone from Cameroon who ordered farm products from Jos in Nigeria. Somebody ordered farm products. I forget what I think it was peppers or something like that from Jos in Cameroon. So guys, the agro value chain holds so much riches for us. And then as we add value to the raw materials, we make more money. Okay, we make more money doing that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Yes, James Okon, I'm happy to hear that it's helping you. All right. So that's number 4. Now, section 3, we talk about value added products for section 3. So let me give you 2 amazing high profit opportunities. Okay. Many people do this and they do not even need to do anything else in their lives if you master that. I've actually tried this business I'm going to tell you about right now, and I failed because I was in the wrong place. I was in the wrong place. People who didn't spend money on such things, because when you come to it, whatever business you're starting, you still have to look for level 10 opportunity. Like I taught you yesterday. If you missed yesterday, go to the replay or go to my YouTube channel. You will find back the replays. You'll find up to 400 videos that you can use to learn a lot. And then if you have not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, let me give you the link right now while we are talking, and then you can actually click and then subscribe. So if you missed the previous ones, you can always go there to watch the replay. And because sometimes you need to connect to what we had done before well enough to be able to understand the current episode. All right. Maduka Lawrence is just joining. Yeah, good evening. So I just put the link in the comment section. If you click it, it will automatically subscribe you to my YouTube channel. I will encourage all of you here to please subscribe to my YouTube channel And when you watch the replays, do comment on it. Do ask me questions. I read those comments, and do love it and like it, and then share it. Okay. So now we are going to section 3, value added products. Number 5, natural juice production. Natural juice production. All right, producing fresh juices from mangoes, from guavas, from oranges, from pineapples for the urban market. The other day I was in a local airport, and the flight was delayed, rescheduled for a couple of hours, so I had to keep busy. I was working on my laptop, and I so badly craved fruit juice. I like particularly carrot. I like mango. I like mango juice anytime. I like carrots. I like pineapples, especially when the pineapple is mixed with ginger. Okay, it's really, really good. I looked around, went everywhere. Nobody had that. All they had were these processed drinks, the sodas, the malts, and things like that, which I don't take. Then there was another time I was in a local airport, and then they had carrot juice, like pure carrot juice, fresh carrot juice. Outside at that time, the carrot juice at that time was selling for about 750 naira. At the airport, it sold for 3,000 naira. That's literally 6 times. And I bought it. So, natural juice production is a big business. You can imagine the heat of the day. You have a juice bar in the middle of the city where you have a lot of traffic, because that was the problem I had. I set up my juice bar in a place that had zero traffic, like literally zero traffic. And then when there was traffic, I don't know what I was thinking, but we learn business every day. When there's foot traffic of the right up, actually there was foot traffic in the place, but it wasn't the money traffic. The feet there didn't have the money, so they couldn't afford my products. I had to fold the business. But if you find yourself like in a really, really hot location, and then you have a juice bar, very, very clean juice bar, and then I can imagine you putting this in central business district like Marina in Lagos, where literally like 10 million people probably transact or move every day. You are going to be in money. And then if you make the mistake, there's something that we have in Ghana that for some reason, for ages, since I've been going to Ghana, I think the first time I went to Ghana was in 1993 or thereabout, 1993 or so. Okay, as far back as that time, I used to see Ghanaians serve fresh coconut juices with the coconut. But all my life in Nigeria, until I saw that the only way we eat coconut in Nigeria is when it is dried and hard. That's the only way, what we call coconut. But there in Ghana, they harvest it fresh while it is still green, and then they clean the back and prepare it for you. Very, very refreshing, very healthy, extremely healthy. The coconut juice, the fresh coconut juice, is very, very close to the human serum, so much so that I've heard instances where they use it for drip, for what do you call this drip, medical doctors in the room, so they use it for IV. Okay, they use it for IV to refresh people and things like that. It's extremely healthy, and every time I'm in Ghana, that's what I take every morning after jogging. That's why I take a lot of that coconut oil. It's heaven. But we don't have it anywhere in Nigeria. It hasn't become a culture here in many parts of Nigeria. Can you imagine if someone becomes smart enough and you start serving fresh coconut juices in Ikoyi, in Victoria Island, in Benin, in Ibadan? You can't cope. You cannot cope, because the demand is very high. Okay, so that's a very big business. And of course, you don't have to be the farmer, the coconut farmer. you can make that happen. Okay, juices. And then there are also local juices that people make from our own natural cocoa. Okay. Natural cocoa that people don't know about. There are juices people make from raffia palm, even fresh palm wine. That is money. That is money if you can do that in cities. Okay. Now, number 6 under the value-added products is spices and seasonings production. Spices and seasonings production. Okay, so for those of you in Lagos, if you go to my tour, there's a section absolutely like 100% for spices. Any kind of spice you can think about, they have it there. You will also find dried moringas blended. You will find all kinds of spices. Some of them come from Niger, some come from northern Nigeria, some come from Togo, different places. Amazing. You see all kinds of things. That's where I also get my ginseng. Okay, my ginseng roots, very good for the brain, very good for the energy, very good for the heart. So I use it. I mix ginseng with my fufu. I mix it with fufu and it is fantastic. It can give you energy to run through the day. All those spices are there. They're very healthy. All kinds of spices you can think about and see. You find them. So can you imagine if you process them and put them in very, very well branded packaging? How much money that you can make there. That's a great example. So you can blend local spices, even peppers, pepper soup ingredients. Some people are making a kill with pepper soup ingredients. You can blend spices like peppers and ginger and garlic together and then brand it and sell. You know, I use a particular brand of spices. Okay, so some of you may know Ace. I like the spices because I've consulted for these people. They were part of the Stanford Seed program and I was their business facilitator. So I got a chance to know that these people do very high quality products. That when I buy their garlic, it's garlic inside, nothing else. When I buy their turmeric, they didn't add anything there. When I buy any of the peppers or the pepper soup ingredients, they have outgrowers of about 10,000 farmers that they aggregate. They get the ginger, they get all these things from another. Those guys are making a kill. But do you know what? You enter supermarkets today and look for Ace. You can't find. They can't meet the demand. So you can play in that sector as well. All right, that's number 6. Okay, I'm wondering whether we can. I think we'll just stop at that number section 3 at number 6 today, because I think there's already a lot, you know, for you to digest and to think about. So I would like you, you know, to give me your aha moments. What has this evening done for you? Everybody, type in the comment section. What has this evening done for you? What is your aha moment? How is your life going to change based on this session that we've had tonight? How are your finances going to change based on the things that you've heard tonight? Type it in the comment section. Type it in the comment section. Everyone, type in the comment section. What is your aha moment? And then of all the ones that the agro business ideas we've talked about, which one appeals to you the most and why? And while we're doing that, I will also, some of you have been asking for a WhatsApp number to reach me. So I'm going to give you that right now. I'll put it in the comment section. And then for those of you who want to register for enroll for the financial fitness challenge, you can also send me a message using the WhatsApp link that I've just posted. So if you look at your comment section, you'll see the link. Okay, so what are your aha moments today? Okay, let me read the ones I'm seeing here. Okay, what are your aha moments? Tim Godwin says, good evening, sir. I'm still at work. Please, where is the financial fitness challenge taking place? I'm in the city state. Oh, good question. It's actually virtual. I'm not sure I made that very clear. It's virtual. People usually join from all over the world. In one of the cohorts, this is actually cohort 4. We've run it 3 times. In one of the cohorts, we had people from Sweden, we had people from Canada, US, UK, and then Gambia, several African countries, joining. So it is, and the way it's structured is when you enroll, you will join a Telegram group. And in that Telegram group, you'll have a couple of bonuses, like my stock market manual. You have a couple of bonuses, like literally all my books on financial freedom. You'll have access to it for a limited time. Then in that group, I will also give you worksheets that will help you to think through, to plan, because the session, the Financial Fitness Challenge, is implementation based. It's not information based. You don't need information. You need implementation. You need to execute. And the way we make that easy for you is through worksheets. So you will fill those worksheets. I will also give you some YouTube video lessons before that time that you go through to prepare you for the plenary sessions that will happen on the evenings of 18th to 21st February. So you now come with all your worksheets, you come with, because that's what's going to allow me to coach you, to customize it for you particularly. Okay, like what we are doing here. There are about 134,000 people who follow me here, and then maybe totally online, maybe like 250, 300,000 people. So it's difficult to give everybody individual attention. But in the Financial Fitness Challenge, it is more like my closed mentorship group. So that's the way it works. It's virtual. You don't need to travel. You don't need to travel. You can join from anywhere. And if you miss any day, there's always a replay that's available for you. And those replays are usually available only for your class. It's not available to the public. So the previous Financial Fitness Challenge replays are available for those people, but you don't see them if you go to YouTube. So I hope that has cleared it. All right. All right. Aha moments. We always do this, so this is really very important. All right. Godwin's aha moment said you don't need to farm yourself. You process, you package and brand it. Fantastic. That's an aha moment. Okay, some Tochuku's aha moment. I'm imagining becoming a billionaire through distribution of agro products. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that imagination will come true because people eat every single day. People eat every single day. Food products, will always sell. Okay, Godwin says, I don't have to farm the work myself. I buy the farm produce, process, package, and brand it and sell. Fantastic. Helen Rotimi says, I learned many side hustles that can help me generate more money. Fantastic. That's my idea. Tapa says, packaging of local rice, which is commonly available in Benue State, and then selling it in Lagos. Fantastic. Excellent ideas. Excellent aha moments. Okay. All right. So this is where we're going to draw the curtain for tonight. Whatever happens, keep showing up because you never know what's coming your way next. And I'll see you at exactly the same time tomorrow. God bless you from all the parts of the world that you're joining from. Bye now.